I know a lot of people, the stigma of mental health, especially amongst men, right? Ah, shut up, rub some dirt in it, right? Like, dude, that's the wrong attitude. That's what got us where we're at. Like,
men outnumber women in suicide 4-1.
There's a famous scene in Austin Powers. He says, I eat because I'm unhappy.
And I'm unhappy because I eat.
Ooh, and just like that kicks off another episode of the ADHD Express podcast. I am your host, Brian Carlson. Thank you for joining us today. Taylor, the audio spike, we don't warn people about it, but that's our, we use that spike to align the video and the audio.
I love it.
And it makes it easy. And then most people are nervous. You were just not nervous at all, but most people show up and they're like, I don't know what I'm going to say. The second Joe does that, they go, and they start laughing. And then they totally forgot why they were nervous. And so we decided long ago to just rock it.
Oh, yeah.
Make it be a part of the show.
I love it.
So, as always, you guys have got the brothers Osmond, and we do have Daniel back today, not Mikey this week.
Hello.
So, thank you. Joe, you can say hi. I'm sorry. I mean,
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. And then we have a wonderful guest. This is a dear friend of mine. Now, Taylor and I, you guys met professionally. We met through home inspections.
Yep.
I met you doing your home inspection, and you are a super interesting dude. And I have told that I'm an interesting dude. And we interesting mojoed, and we were like, hey, you're cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what he showed up with, a handlebar mustache waxed. I had a beard down to my belly button.
Yep.
We just fit.
Yeah, seriously. And since then, you've done inspections for, 15 different houses that I was looking at.
Yeah.
So
Bunch of different stuff. And so Taylor Miles, why don't you go ahead and say hi? You can kind of introduce yourself a little bit to everybody. And
absolutely. Yeah. I'm Taylor Miles. I work for, my day job, I work for a company called M&S EAP, an employee assistance program. What we do, if you don't know what an EAP is, you probably should.
You absolutely should. This is critical. Pay attention to this.
Yeah, we provide mental health services. So a lot of companies have an EAP, but employees don't know about it. And that's why EAPs are underutilized. That's why they kind of get crapped on a lot, is because employees just don't know that they have access usually to free therapy. They just need to talk to their employer. There's probably an EAP in place, or it's built into their insurance, something like that. So they can access mental health services usually at no cost to the employee is what it is. So that's my day job. I also am a co-owner of a hot sauce company, Bear River Bottling, here in town.
Yeah.
I've been helping them out for about 8 years now. It's my buddy John that started the company. And
okay. Here, let's take a second. I'm going to show you guys this. So those are everybody who's watching, check this out. Bear River Bottling. And we're going to link this on the website too. But this is one of his hot sauces. In fact, I should show you my favorite one. So this is my favorite one, Green Canyon. Now, Green Canyon would be my favorite canyon in Cache Valley, but you're not allowed to ride a motorcycle there, so it's not.
True.
But this is the best green salsa. This is fabulous on an omelet.
Yes. Yeah, so everything in that bottle's been roasted. It's funny that you picked up the Wonder Tonic, because that's my daily driver. That first
is it really?
one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I put that on everything, man. It's fantastic. It's one of those that's not going to take away flavor from what you're eating. It's just going to add some heat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I better try this then.
Heck yeah.
The Wonder Tonic. That's the first one I showed you guys. Cool. So you're doing great stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Busy.
That's fabulous. So the mental health thing is huge. Sorry, so I want to talk about this. So those of you guys who are business owners, so when he was talking about say it again?
EAP.
Yeah. So the EAP programs, what does it mean again?
It's an employee assistance program.
The employee assistance program this is specifically for mental health, which is huge right now. I'm sorry, it's huge. And everybody's like, well, there's no access to help for that. Now, I was thinking that sounds like something that, only huge corporations have.
No. So, and it really depends on the EAP. I'm with a very unique company. They're actually based, headquarters is Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And they're one of the oldest in the nation. So they're over 40 years old now.
Wow. Do they offer other insurance or just strictly this? So
it's just this.
Cool.
And we're working on kind of reframing the mentality around EAPs, because like I said, they kind of get crapped on, but it's because utilization's not great, because a lot of employees either don't want their company to know that they're struggling with their mental health. But that's what we're trying to do, is break that stigma. Mm-hmm. There has been a lot of stigma, especially around men's mental health.
Oh my gosh.
And I could go on for days talking about men's mental health right now. But what we're trying to do is try to engage in an entire employee mental health and wellness program is what it is. However, We are in all 50 states. We can work with group sizes down to 3 employees. One of our largest clients is over 160,000 lives
Whoa.
out of the
Dang.
northeastern kind of
Yeah.
section of the states. So it's one of those that like we can work with any group size. But what I spend most of my days doing is working with benefits advisors or insurance brokers or HR directors, leadership teams at companies. Like I'll work directly with companies all the time. But what we do is like we get our program in place, we set it up.
What? So sorry. Yeah, keep
All
going.
good.
You can ignore
No,
that.
we set it up so that we try to break the stigma, also remove the barriers for the employees. We want them to know that like they can access this help without their employer ever even knowing that they accessed it. Like that's one of the barriers that we remove.
That's
because I mean, a lot of people think that if they're struggling, they need to go talk to their HR director so that they can get set up with a therapist. It's not how it is, and it's not how it should be.
Dang.
And so the way that we do it is we provide it for the employee and the employee's family members, because mental health is not just yourself. It is
No.
usually who you're with.
Right.
So we set it up that way. They can have access up to 12 free therapy sessions in a year, which is a lot.
Yes, it is.
We provide in-person and virtual as well. We also do like legal advising. There's financial wellness coaches, that you name it. Like
Yeah.
that's what we're trying
There's
to
definitely
do.
not enough awareness of this. I can already tell you that 100%.
Oh yeah.
I don't think Melissa knew about this. Brett Bullock doesn't know about this. There's been some folks. So we're all about trying to show folks ways to be, have a good life. Like it's all about fixing your life. And like, I know a lot of people, the stigma of mental health, especially amongst men, right? Oh, shut up, rub some dirt in it, right? Like, dude, that's the wrong attitude. That's what got us where we're at. Like,
and that's our generations. We're kind of the tail end of that era of like, don't talk about it and it'll go away.
Right.
It doesn't.
No, it gets worse.
And then then it turns into generational trauma.
Yep.
Is what it is.
Yep.
So
I literally my grandfather was a, World War II bomber pilot hero, had a lot of trauma, came back in, a lot of blown up planes and ugly stuff. And I literally don't know that I could not tell you that the sound of his voice, the dude never spoke to us at all. Never spoke to anybody, and like that kind of stuff. My dad, decorated trauma victim from Vietnam. Like they just don't.
No, and that's what they were taught. That's what they were told.
Yeah.
And that's what they did, But like we are now in a time where it just doesn't work like it used to. And like what it does is it creates the isolation. There's a phrase that lives in my head, and it's men live to be 80 but die at 30. And that's because that's what happens is like it's the weight of responsibility.
Yeah, dude.
Like and I'll touch a little bit on like males versus females versus, I mean, even the LGBTQ plus community. Like everybody has their mental health struggles, but like in terms of statistics wise, like men's mental health is the worst that it's ever has been, and hopefully ever will be. Is what it is. Because right now, like men's mental health, men outnumber women in suicide 4-1.
Wow.
But women will attempt suicide 3 times more. So they outnumber us 3-1, but it's because men choose a more violent means to the end. They get it
done.
More effective.
They like females will choose an approach where they could get out of it if they needed to. So like they're more the overdoses, things like that. Whereas men, like it's more like the guns, the hangings, the things that you can't come back from. Like it's very violent, very, it ends it. So, but to kind of like keep that ball rolling, like men's mental health, I spend most of my day on LinkedIn, like sharing and talking about these statistics and studies and things that are being done so that I can address the statistics as well as the stigma, because I am every statistic when it comes to mental health. And like, that's why I do what I do, is because I am a suicide attempt survivor twice,
Yeah. Wow.
Like, and I'm happy to discuss that.
Yeah.
So because there's a lot of guys out there that have just never told anyone.
Right. It's a
And,
hard
like,
thing to talk about, dude.
It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. Yeah. I never tried. I had a plan. I talked about it, thought about it a lot at one point in time, and then met my therapist, and she's probably the only person I ever talked about it with.
See? And that's suicidal ideation.
Right.
Like, it hides well behind a smile.
Yep.
You know? And that's kind of what we're taught to do, especially as kids, is like, if you act happy, you're going to be happy. And it's like, that's not how the brain works.
No.
You can't be happy all the time.
Nope. And you're not supposed to be. I'm sorry.
No.
You're not supposed to be.
No. I mean, and your brain is kind of an a-hole, so to speak.
At
like
times.
it has all the chemicals to make you happy, but like, you do have to put in the work.
You do. Dude. So it's actually funny you mentioned that. I just found this podcast, which I'm going to even quote it because I actually want a lot of people to listen to this, especially if you're married and whatnot. This girl, I listened to this thing driving back from my shooting competition, but anyway, well, I'll find that later. Sorry, I don't want to do that now. So, but they talk about that, and she's talking about it's really the stuff that you're putting in your bodies, and a lot of the stuff that gets worse is the medicines. Like, we're screwing ourselves up, like bad. There's so much stuff that we're putting in our bodies that is throwing all this stuff out.
And that's something I've highlighted before, and have actually cut a lot of flack for. I've talked a lot about like antidepressants and anti-anxiety meds. People don't understand what they actually do.
No.
People think they're going to take this miracle pill that makes them happy. No, those drugs are designed to make you numb. So it's getting rid of the depression, the anxiety, the sad, all of those things.
It's also getting rid of.
But it's not like, what it's doing is it's making you numb. It's not making you happier. It's not making you able to do more things. It's just masking is what it's doing. And like, don't get me wrong. Like, there's a lot of people that benefit from being on them. I'm never going to discredit that.
Sure.
There's a lot of people that like, you need to start with that. You absolutely need to start doing that if you're struggling with depression and anxiety, but you've got to do the work on the other end.
Right. Which is nutrition and fitness and health and all we know now.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what I struggle? So similar with the mental health thing is some of the diabetes folks. Like, how many of these diabetes folks do you know that are overweight? They live on Diet Coke or Diet Dr. Pepper. They're always eating well, my sugar's all off, so I got to eat these gummy candies. It's like, dude, it's 2024. Bullshit. You do not eat the gummy candies, bro, with all the red dye in there. That is not helping you at all.
That's because the food has been designed to give you those happy chemicals.
I'm aware.
Sugar is like,
oh yeah,
ridiculously addictive.
Oh, yeah.
And people don't get that.
No.
But it's because you're chasing that. You're chasing it's oxytocin that's food related.
Yeah.
But like, that's what it is. It's like, they've hit that trigger system in the brain, and where it'll just keep dumping out the happy chemical. And it's like, okay, I'm going to have 16 Dr. Peppers in a day. I'm going to have my 15 candy bars before I go to bed, that's what the food's designed to do.
Yep. And then now you got a sick body, and you got the that's the FDA. You got the food side to make you sick, and then you got the drug side to try to cover up the sickness.
I did a post on LinkedIn about banned foods in the United States versus everywhere else.
We need to go find that, because we've talked about that a lot.
Oh man.
Whole lot.
What blows my mind is that like Coffee Mate, we as humans should not consume Coffee Mate at all.
I believe it.
Because of like what's in it. And it's like, you think about how many people wake up and have 3 cups of coffee and dump this Coffee Mate in there. Like, it is banned in every country outside of the United States.
There's a lot of stuff that's like that, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's
Twinkies,
crazy.
Any of the instant potatoes, like stovetop stuff, like that stuff's all banned in other countries. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how many of them there are, and how many like different food varieties.
Oh yeah,
There's just so many, and they have alternatives. I guess like the other countries will make one that doesn't have all the nasty chemicals in it. So it's the same thing, just without the chemicals.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Same
why
product.
don't we get the ones without? All
Because there's
the-
no money in it. Because the Rockefellers, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
It all started way back when, petroleum-based products. Well, and crap, I forgot what I was going to say. I hate when I do that. No, you're totally good.
Squirrel.
Yep, squirrel.
ADHD, man.
Yep, ADHD. It happens. That's a real. Everybody at this point in time, y'all ought to be used to it. This is episode 32. Like, it's just what you get.
Yep.
I could be mid sentence, mid word, and forget what I'm saying.
Oh, I've already changed the topic 16 times. I'm here for it.
I know. It's right. Yeah. It's just it happens. We all do.
It's the way to be.
It's the way to be. It is the way to be.
So, can I ask, like, why hot sauce? How did you get into hot
look at that.
sauce?
There it is.
Man, there it is. So it's funny. Like the guy that started the company, he moved from Colorado I actually don't know when he moved here, but I started hanging out with him about 9 years ago. And in the state of Utah, the spiciest thing that we have is ketchup. Like, honestly, that's
Legit.
really what it is.
Dude, you go to the restaurant, and you order the hot stuff, and we're actually joking. I have my buddy Brock, who's been on the podcast. Brock has he carries his hot sauce around, and he's all embarrassed when he takes it out, but he shouldn't be.
Oh, no. I have a hot sauce holster that I keep on my hip most of the time.
That's awesome.
Most of the time.
Do you have it today?
I don't have it today, and I should have.
That would have been super, super cool.
Yeah. So
I might have to start doing something. That actually just sounds like a fun thing to do. For
yeah.
years, I carried $2 bills in my wallet and always gave people a $2 tip.
Yep.
And people were always so weirded out about that. And then I don't know how I got away from it.
the funniest thing was I used to wear it when I was riding my Harley.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a guy like make me shut off my Harley at a light. And he's like, "Is that a hot sauce holster?" And I'm like, "It is." And
you have your bike still, don't you? Do you get rid of
I
it?
sold the bike.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I sold the bike. But I took the hot sauce out of the holster and actually handed it to him at the light.
Did you give it to him?
Gave him the
Hey,
bottle.
Here, try it.
Yeah. So that was super cool. But
Okay, so we need to grow this business and have him riding around on the Bear River bottle and motorcycle and the gear, and we'll all bandoliers you go up and scare people and hand him a bottle of salsa, hot sauce.
Yeah. But so kind of going back to it, we helped him get started, and we were hanging out at parties and stuff, and he'd always bring kind of small batch like little stuff that he was making for himself, and we were like, let's get you in the local farmers market, like come up with 2 or 3 sauces that you could sell, like let's do it that way.
Yeah.
And that's how it all began. That's where it started, and he ended up finding a guy that was doing barbecue sauce at the same time, and then they kind of created the company, and then I've really been in it since then. So I was helping with like cook, bottle, label, all of it, start to finish, and then finally bought into the company just a couple of years ago. And so now I'm a co-owner of the company, and I'm kind of the sales officer guy. We're working on wholesale and different routes. We just got like our FDA approval to do grocery stores and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So
Excellent.
like,
Congratulations.
Yeah, like we're working on some really big things, and yeah, I mean we're doing wholesale in 23 states right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's taking off.
That's fabulous.
The other chemicals in the FDA have influenced your branding at all on like how?
Yeah. So we don't use any additives in ours. What we do use as a preservative, and I use air quotes, it's xanthan gum. It actually comes from plants. We don't do anything else. Everything else is all natural. For a lot of our cooks, we work with local farmers. So for like onions, garlic, all that kind of stuff, like we try to locally source as much as we can. Yeah.
That's huge, because it's hard not to find something that isn't shipped or 10 months ago.
Yeah. And that's a big part of what we do. Like we'll always keep it small batch. We don't want to don't want to outsource anything, because we're hands on. We want to know the product. So
yeah, that gives you the confidence to be able to back it up too.
Yep. And are you growing a bunch of the peppers?
Yeah, so we do one hot sauce every year. We call it the Harvest Harbinger, and we only use the peppers that we grow in our gardens.
Oh, cool.
And so my garden last year, we had red Savinas, red Devil's Tongue, some Carolina Reapers. But yeah, so every year we're trying to do different and new stuff.
I did a church chili cook-off one time, and I put in 2 Carolina Reapers and a ghost pepper.
How did everybody do?
The first kid the judge spit it out. His mom really had a panic attack.
Yeah.
The third judge was a man, and he was just like, okay, no.
Nobody have any of
He's
this.
like, yeah, he goes, you'd eat this last. Cause he's like, you can't, your face just went numb.
Yeah.
And so that was the funny thing is, but once after that was done, when it came time for people to eat the chili, my hot chili was the first one gone.
Heck yeah.
That bowl was damn near
Yeah.
licked clean. It was hysterical because it was a really good chili pot that we made too. It was a really good batch, but
Nice.
like it was so hot, like it was hard. Like
Yeah.
it was like you take a bite of it. It was this one of the kids. It's not that hot. I'm like, all right, cool, 5 bites really fast. Because the first 2 are okay. It's that
Yeah.
thord one that
Oh,
really
no,
is
it's the
like,
third
oh
one that
man.
catches
And then
up
the
with you.
4th one, you're like, okay.
Yep.
I didn't even know what his 5th bite was. I had to hurt like hell because he left.
Yeah.
He went home after that.
Yeah. And like kind of an initiation into Bear River bottling is that you have to eat at least a part of a Carolina Reaper.
Oh, shiz.
And so I don't want new guys, like the ones that kind of help us come in, like they come in and cook or help us bottle or something like that. I don't want them doing it alone. So I've eaten probably 30 or 40
Oh my gosh.
Carolina Reapers so far. It's the same terrible experience every time.
I
Like,
guess
it
when
doesn't
we
get better,
come when we
just so
come
you
to
know.
when we come to hang out and cook,
Yeah.
guess what we're all
Yeah.
doing, guys?
Yep, you're all eating one.
That sucks.
Yep.
If that's the rule,
Yeah.
like if that's the rule, like you
Absolutely
have to
down.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm one of those. Be like, well, yeah, all right. If that's what we got to do, is what we got to do.
Well, and being in the hot sauce industry, like we go to these like hot sauce shows, conferences and stuff, like, and we've actually won a lot of national awards.
Oh, that's really
we just
cool.
picked up 3 more in Dallas.
Dude,
2
that's
weeks ago.
amazing.
So super cool. But like, we're up against the Ed Currys, like Pucker
Yeah.
Butt, his hot sauce company. I mean, so it's really cool to spend time with them. But like Ed knows us by name now, and so he'll bring over his latest extract. I've tried like just a toothpick on the tongue of like Carolina Reaper extract. It's the worst thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Yeah, you're like, let's just put a needle through there first
stomach
instead.
cramps, sweats, you name
Yeah.
it. It's awful. It's awful. But I mean, like really what we're doing is we focus flavor first and then heat.
Yeah.
So, because we don't want to ruin your life.
Right.
We want you to enjoy it.
Right.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
I like that. Is that
Yeah.
working? What do you got?
The screen timed out.
Oh. Well, this is our first time going live again, you guys. We've tried this, I think, the last 2 episodes, and it hasn't really worked out super good. By the next 4 or 5, we'll have it dialed in.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys will tune in live.
Yeah.
Episodes 40 through whatever till we stop. Well, yeah, that's really cool, man. That is super cool. So I didn't realize that it was starting to take off that much. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am really excited actually now to go and check out the roast and to do all that. That's going to be
Yeah.
really fun content.
Yeah. It's,
We can get a nice hour-long, full-long format out of that.
yeah, I never anticipated it being this big.
Yeah.
You know, like when it started off, it was really just like, yeah, I'll always like help out with it
Because it's fun.
because it's fun. But now it's like, there's the potential that like we could go full time.
Yeah.
You know, and if I did, that'd be awesome.
Right.
If not, it's still going to be a side thing and love doing it, love selling
Right.
it, love talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, it would be. Then you just have to mix in some mental health with the hot sauce.
Yep.
Maybe there's some sort of a natural segue into that.
There definitely is.
Did you guys see that
So-
underhanded pitch?
Yeah, I'll swing at that one. And it's funny because I didn't know this. Like the mental health job really like fell into my lap. I started working for a mental health tech company a few years ago. And the more that I dived into mental health and kind of different approaches, and I mean, like I was doing research on ADHD, and I discovered that sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins. You know.
I don't know.
So-
Weird. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
It was one of those kind of days where it was like, I wonder if mental health has one of those, like, how does it tie in?
Yeah.
And it blew my mind. It was actually one of the best and easiest mental health hacks that you can do is eat something spicy. Like if you're stuck in a funk, if you're burned out at work, you're feeling a lot of anxiety, what it does is the capsaicin triggers with a chemical that's in your brain, and it triggers the fight or flight response.
Okay.
But since there's no real threat, what it does is it turns it into adrenaline, dumps it into endorphins, oxytocin, serotonin, all these happy
Happy stuff,
chemicals.
yeah.
And so a lot of there's kind of half the population that experience this, but like if you eat something really spicy, you get kind of that euphoria,
Yeah.
that like happiness. It feels like a runner's high is what
yeah,
it is.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what's happened is you just hacked your brain into dumping those chemicals
No
in.
kidding.
And so if you're in a funk or you're feeling a lot of anxiety, have a really strong hot sauce. Something spicy or even sour does the same thing.
Interesting.
What it does is it pulls the brain out of it. it gives it like a shock to the system and then helps dump some of those chemicals.
Wow.
So,
that's interesting.
yeah.
Huh. So there you go. You're having a bad day. Let's spice it up.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of which, so one of the dudes I met at my 3-gun event this weekend came up with the name for my book, The Spice of Life.
There you go.
That's perfect.
There you
I
go.
like that.
Yeah,
There you
dude.
go.
Yeah, and that's just kind of funny because it really even ties in today's podcast. It's just
Yeah.
a sign. That's got to be it.
That's it.
Yeah, Lance Quinlan. Thanks, Lance, if you watch this. There's your credit for it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny. Yeah, so spice up life, man. That's great.
Yeah.
Wow.
So with I asked you how you got into that, but now like so, was it the experiences in your past, or did you always kind of want to be in the field that you are now?
That's a great question. Really, like I said, mental health fell in my lap, but I think it was also because subconsciously I knew that I had a lot that I needed to work on. There was a lot of stuff in my life that I knew I wanted to help people. I just didn't know how. And like back in the day, the way that I thought I'd do it was like the medical route. And so I went and got like my CNA, and then I got my first responder, and then my EMT, and then my wilderness EMT, and then actually had a very traumatic experience with that. And what's really interesting about this was that I was doing volunteer work for an ambulance at the time, and there was a car accident up the canyon here locally, and I was on the ambulance that night, and EMT's like, your one of your responsibilities is body part recovery is what it is. And it was a really terrible accident, and the ambulance driver knew, like, he could see that I was not doing okay, and the only thing that he could do for me was hand me the card for the National Suicide Hotline. There was nothing else. And I was like, there's something wrong with this. There's something so wrong with this. Like, what do you guys have in place to like help you with this? And they're like, not much. And it was like, that's when it hit me. And I was just like, wow. Okay. And it was after that like, I got really lucky and really like, I don't know if you want to call it divine intervention, whatever it is, but it was like things just lined up after that. Like I never went and worked as an EMT again because I knew that I couldn't make the disconnect.
Right.
In
It's
the brain.
hard, dude. It's hard.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like the people that do it, they are a different caliber. They are incredible people. And like I just didn't have it in me. And I think there was a lot of other trauma that I had experienced that kind of prevented me from going that route. But long story short, like the mental health kind of fell in my lap, and this is my passion now, you know? And I mean, my dad passed away when I was 13 from a brain tumor.
Okay.
So it was a glioblastoma. It was really fast. It was 3 months and 3 days
Holy
from the
crap.
time he was diagnosed to when he passed. So I mean, 13 years old, your dad's usually your best friend.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And like he was everything. The dude, and he had one of those lives that it's a lot like our stories of like, you wouldn't believe it.
All the stuff he did.
I mean, like like he was an engineer, but he specialized in underwater welding.
Oh, cool.
Like
I already like him.
Yeah. Like
Yep, already like
had
him.
his pilot's license. Like we had an airplane when I was a kid, like just all that kind of stuff, you know? So that was super hard. And like 13 years old, you don't know how to like process that.
Oh no.
And so a lot of it you just repress. You don't talk about it. And then I lost one of my best friends in a 4-wheeling accident. And then it's like a list of and thens.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And so for me now, it's like the more I talk about mental health, the more it's just therapy for me.
Sure.
Like being able to talk about it. Because my first suicide attempt, I was 16 years old.
Holy shit.
And I like, it was in my mom's house. Like she had no idea. She had no idea. And I mean, like when I was in high school, like I graduated with a 3.8 GPA.
Right. So you were
like,
you're
I was doing all the stuff. I was jumping through all the hoops, but like I was just,
miserable.
I was putting a show on is what it was. And it was because I wasn't talking about this stuff. And so like my first suicide attempt, I was 16. My second suicide attempt, I was 23. And the first one it was with a gun. Like it was one of my dad's guns that I pulled out of the safe. I loaded the gun, sat there with it for a minute, like had the note written, had all the stuff
Oh my
prepared,
God.
you know, and put the gun up, pulled the trigger, and it didn't fire. And then there was that moment of like insane clarity of like, what did I just do? And I mean, the panic set in. There was so much that came out of that. And to be honest with you, I don't know why that gun didn't fire. No idea.
Miracle.
Yeah. But then, see, like when I was 23, I tried to overdose. Like I had really after 16, that's when I knew that I needed to start working on some stuff. And I tried, and it was hard.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, yeah, the mind's still, you're not even ready. You're not even ready for the world at that point.
right. And like, especially with an ADHD brain, like we're more prone to depression, anxiety, like insomnia. That's another thing that I've struggled with. But like it was hard. And then like once you hit the ages where you can start drinking and smoking, like that's what you do.
You're
Is
right.
you self-medicate.
Yes, you do.
And I ran from it for 20 years, you know, and then finally started talking about it. And that's when everything it was that weight lifted. It was the relief. It was I had no idea that there are so many people that have had the same story or gone through the same kind of hard stuff. And you don't know about it until you start talking about it.
People
Because
will open up.
I go to these conferences like these for my day job, and I talk about mental health in America right now. And I've had, I swear, after every speech, a mom come up to me and be like, hey, my son tried to commit suicide. I appreciate what you talked about here.
Yep.
Or my husband, I lost him to suicide.
Right.
Stuff like that. And it's like, you don't know. And that's why you've got to start talking about it. Even if it's with just a therapist, if it's with your wife, your brother, your sister, whatever it is, like you've got to talk about it.
Yeah, that's right.
It's insane because the number one cause of pain is ignoring those things that are dragging you down and bringing you to that low place. But everyone is too afraid to look at it because they think it makes them weak. Like, I saw a thing. Are you familiar with Brene Brown?
Yes. I love Brene Brown.
Rising Strong, one of my favorite books. Oh, man. But I was watching a TED Talk that she did, and she was talking about she had just done a conference, and before she only would study women and processing women and things like why they do the things they do. And she was at a conference one time, and afterwards, a man came up to her and he was like, I love what you talked about vulnerability, but why don't you study men? And she said, well, that's just not the group that I'm looking at. And he says, well, that's convenient. That's convenient. Yeah. And she's like, what do you mean by that? And he's like, well, you see those 3 books that you just signed for my wife and 2 daughters? Well, they would rather watch me die on my white horse than watch me fall off of it.
Yep.
And that right there is powerful. And it's insane because that's the stigma that's there. But honestly, it takes way more strength to be vulnerable because you're putting something out there.
Yep.
Something that is you, that is there. And yeah, it could get shot down by somebody that's dumb. But most of the time, it is accepted and it grows your understanding of the person that you hear it from.
Yep.
And the love that you have for them. I think that's the best word for it.
Yeah. Well, and here's another question. Like, how many times have you been with your buddies and you've actually talked about something like this, very personal, very close to the heart? What have they come back with? They've never made fun of you.
Right.
They don't poke fun at it. It's because they're all going through.
Right. They usually share about, well, I had a hard time. In fact, honestly, my closest group of friends right now, we all actually went and did a peyote ceremony together and have like laughed, cried, talked, hugged, gone through all that stuff together, you know, and like we're all tight now. And I mean, we all come from different worlds, and it's been a big part of my journey. Those things. I did ketamine treatment. I tried a bunch of stuff. Had some issues there for a little while, but yeah.
Yep.
And now we all find out that we can have access to this stuff through our employers, even if we're little.
Yeah, most of the time. So definitely, it's worth asking about.
Well, and for those of you, my friends that have businesses that are supporting us and watching the show, man, reach out to me. I'll get you hooked up with Taylor and let's get this plan for your business.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, we had a guy on here a couple of weeks ago, Brett Bullock. He's a accident policy.
Mm-hmm.
And, he kind of teaches you how to use the accident policy, and like, it's fabulous, right? Afterwards, where you guys like, crap, I need that. Like, everybody needs that, you know, like if you have your wife on it before you get pregnant, like, dude, they pay thousands of dollars for that kind. I mean, like, it's just a benefit for you. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And now it sounds like we've got another one for mental health.
Oh yeah.
Like, why would,
Yeah.
like, I offer my accident policy for all my employees. Now that I don't have any employees anymore, I guess I don't, but that'll change one day, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, so if I did, when I had my employees, I just put it on them. I paid for it. You know?
Yep.
Because again, it keeps them better. And that was mental health. Wow.
Yeah.
My boss actually cares for me. If I get hurt, even if it's not at work, he has a policy that's going to pay me.
Oh yeah.
You know? And like, yeah. Now I know about mental health one, which is that's amazing, because that's something like without the mental health, you know, like, dude, your employees can't function.
Oh yeah.
And the family. So that's what we noticed, like with D, Miriam, sorry if you guys see this, don't be offended, but like his wife would have a bad day, and then in turn he would have a bad day.
Yep.
It's all on how, like, and there's so many situations like that. It's how you send that dude out into the world, which is why that mental health. Because if the wife wakes up and she's having a crappy morning, she makes sure you have a crappy morning, and then you're carrying that for the day.
Well, and you really dive into it, like that's where a lot of this burnout, like, was definitely a buzzword for a long time.
Yeah.
But that's what it is like employees showing up, not giving 100% at their job. And like, you could really dive into absenteeism and presenteeism. And that's like, absenteeism is missing work for things that aren't related to being sick. So like mental health days, like, I am so depressed I can't get out of bed. That's absenteeism. Presenteeism is showing up to work, being depressed, and not doing your best work.
Sure.
And when you really break it down, like statistically across America, like 40% of Americans rate their mental health as poor or worse. Like, that's insane for everything that we talk about of like how we're the greatest country, we're all of this stuff. It's like half the population is freaking struggling.
With something, mental illness, health, nutrition,
health,
weight,
nutrition,
obesity,
you name
all kinds
it.
of stuff.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, but it just to take one more step back, like, we as humans were not designed for this kind of life.
No.
Like, we were not designed for this indoor, sedentary, screen-laden kind, like, fast food filled life.
Nope.
Which is why I always talk about my big 5. And that's eat, breathe, move, sleep, sun. Like, you need those 5 to have like just a foundation, just like core stuff to really like be in a good mental state, like in a good mental health state.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, eat, what you're putting in your body counts.
Big time.
Breathe, like taking the time for meditation or like time alone to read a book, whatever it is, you know. Move. That's another thing, is like, when you start looking into statistics, 1 in 4 Americans do not have any exercise at all.
Wow.
Which is wild.
It is wild. Well, and I get it. I mean, like, right? Most people you know and deal with are obese.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most people.
And a lot of that can stem from mental health.
Sure. Well, yeah,
like,
it stems from
you
a lot
get
of
depressed, you stay inside,
Yep.
you eat really crappy things, and then you get stuck in the cycle. And like, everybody wants an easy way out.
Right.
Everybody's looking for the miracle pill.
But they just don't exist.
But they don't exist.
Nope.
And see, that's why sun is like number 4 on my list, is because like, I mean, I work remote and I make it a point to be in sunlight for 30 minutes a day.
Yeah.
Because of its effects
So
on
check
the
this
brain.
out. You know what I just learned? And I don't have the studies. It was actually that podcast I was talking about with the woman and all the health stuff. Sunglasses are bad for you.
Bad for you.
Because when you go out in the sun, your eyes adjust and it makes your body produce a chemical, which makes your skin produce some sort of something that you don't burn. There is all sorts of stuff that we are just screwing up our bodies.
Yep.
Like,
well, and sunglasses block out the vitamin D and the rays
from your
that
eyes.
you actually
you absorb
need.
it into your eyes, and you can't.
And if you don't have that light during the day, I guarantee you're probably struggling with your sleep because that is a huge trigger for your REM cycle, like where your brain's at. So the days that you haven't been in the sun very much, lay in bed, do a little analyze and just see where you're at versus days that you were in the sun. Because I bet you anything you're going to fall asleep faster, you're going to have way better sleep.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. What we were talking about a second ago, Austin Powers. There's a famous scene in Austin Powers where it's Fat Bastard. And in one of the scenes, he says, I eat because I'm unhappy. And I'm unhappy because I eat. And like it is that cycle of going through and taking care.
That was pretty right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But it is
right,
and that's because like food, it's another brain hack.
Well, yeah,
like,
that's
you
what
can
you're
use
saying.
it
What was
for
the
good.
chemical that you get from eating food?
I want to double check that real quick because I don't
There
want
is
to
a
tell you the
chemical
wrong
you get
chemical.
that some people get. Like, right, there's different percentages of the population that have different things, right? Like, for example, if you guys aren't aware, there is a gene out there that makes it to where cilantro tastes like soap.
Yep.
I have that gene, and my wife's favorite flavor is cilantro. That makes a complication in your wedding because she'll cook something, and I'll come home and I'm like, what is this? This is god awful. And everybody else is like, what are you talking about, dude? This is incredible.
It just has that soap.
It tastes like soap.
So, and I'll send you this.
Thank you.
Because I've got it laid out on a slide, but like dopamine is the reward chemical.
Okay.
Oxytocin is the love hormone. Serotonin is the mood chemical, and endorphins are like the painkiller.
Okay.
But like what's really interesting about all of this is that you can get all 4 chemicals from dark chocolate.
Yes, I did just learn that on that same podcast I was referencing.
Yeah. So dark chocolate it's
good
if
stuff.
there is a miracle pill out there, it's dark chocolate.
Really?
But anyway,
Yeah.
so like
Why did it have to be dark chocolate?
Because dark chocolate's the best.
it is.
You Americans, don't tell me you eat this milk chocolate garbage that says Hershey's on it.
I'm not a chocolate guy.
Oh,
I don't like chocolate in general.
gotcha.
But yeah, so I'll share that with you. Just it's cool because I have it broken down of like how you can get those chemicals. So like
Dude, that's fabulous.
dopamine is like eat
We
good
can link
food,
that on the website.
achieve a goal, get good sleep, have a bath. Like that's how you get dopamine. Oxytocin is like socializing, physical touch. Like that's the love hormone. Makes sense. Serotonin is like sun exposure, mindfulness, like hobbies, walk in nature, that kind of stuff. And then endorphins, like exercising, laughing, that kind of stuff. So,
Right.
anyway, I'll share that with you.
Absolutely.
That'd be awesome. The balance of all of them.
Yes.
Everything. Yeah, well, dude, that's what the Industrial Revolution ruined us in more ways than one. And there's so many things that have happened in America that are ruining us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it totally
And
took us away from what we were actually designed as humans to do.
So do you guys know, I learned this. So I've always my whole life struggled with sleep, and the sun thing, I'm outside every single day. So I'm hyper, but, we used to sleep in 2 different shifts. So you would go to sleep, or as soon as the sun was down, it's bedtime, because in the olden days you didn't have electricity, right? And to have light, you had to have fire burning, you had to have candles that cost money, it was hard. So you didn't. So when the sun went down, you went to sleep. And then, a lot of us wake up middle of the night, right? Well, that is you're supposed to, because then you go out, you stoke the fire to heat everything back up again. You check, do your quick rounds, make sure you're safe. There's not a predator out killing your animals or whatever. You check everything out, and then you're back to bed.
Yep.
And then you sleep for a few more hours until first light, and then you're up.
So, modern day hack for that. And this is what I've done in my house. In our bedroom, I painted the ceiling black. A lot of people have walked into our room and they're like, why would you do that? It's because when you lay down and you're staring at the ceiling, it actually tricks your brain into thinking that you're staring at the night sky. Like subconsciously is what it does, is that it feels like there's that expanse above you. And so it helps you get into that sleep cycle a little bit easier. But the problem with it is that we have these in front of our faces. So we have that artificial light right here.
It's just screwing your brain up.
And so if you can put that down and you have that ceiling, like it's a modern day hack for that.
Interesting.
Specifically.
So there's another one that I was just learning about on the same podcast that I will reference. I just can't remember the name of it right now, but they talk about the red light
Yeah.
So a similar thing is turning like she talks about having red light bulbs in their lamps in their bedroom. So then when you kick it on, and then even and we've been starting to implement some of this as far as at least in the evenings, we have all the overhead lights off, and I have installed like under cabinet LEDs that point down. So again, it's kind of a different, it's just a light illumination. It's not. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we're doing that's wrong. Like how many people are sitting there, you're on your, like my wife, it drives me nuts. She's literally on her phone and goes to sleep and then doesn't sleep well.
Yep.
It's like, well, yeah.
Well, and a lot of companies, like the ones that are very mental health focused, they've started installing red lights in their offices so that people can have exposure.
So you know what the red lights, you know what those are putting off? Well, you know what those are putting off. Do you guys know what that's putting off? It's vitamin D. So that's why, like, you go into some of these bathrooms and they have that weird little light thing and everybody always has a heat light in it. It's not supposed to be a heat light. It's supposed to be a vitamin D light.
Yep.
So when you get out of the shower in the wintertime, you got that red light and you can just sit there and look at it and soak that vitamin D in your naked body while you dry off under it.
Yeah, they're usually like 10,000 UV light bulbs or something like that. So
yeah, and I do that all the time because I do home inspections and I find those houses and people are always like, why do they have that? And like literally, I have never found anybody who knows.
Yeah.
I've never once had a person be like, oh, I know what that is.
Yep.
Never. I mean, you knew the red light. That's why I didn't ask you. I was like, yeah, he knows. Everything I've said so far, he's like, yep. So he knew.
Man, that's
what
I spend
journeying
all
this.
day.
Yeah, you've been journeying this. It's, and now I know, like, you know that I know because like I'm saying all the stuff and you're like, yeah, Brian has been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So get this one. So this is one I want to share with you. And I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, so I'm not going to ask. I'm just going to tell you about it. I did this with my therapist, and this was awesome. I got a natal chart. So this you have to know the exact date and time down to the second of when you were born, and they can project all this stuff. These pages here, this is all of that stuff about me. This is me. Like, if you read this, you're just, yeah, that's Brian. Yep, that's Brian. Yeah, it's 100%. But it talks about the birth chart, the sun, and where, you know, and most of it I don't understand. Like it says, as the 12th and last sign of the zodiac, Pisces contains within itself a little experience of all the signs, right? This gives Pisces sons the ability to identify with people of all walks of life from all backgrounds, which, right, like, dude, the people on this podcast, I've got convicted felons. I've got lawyers, I've got Mormons, I've got atheists, I've got conservatives, I've got liberals, I've got insurance agents, I've got professional motocross riders. I mean, like the spectrum of and that's what I was on this group, this shooting group, and the one guy had a friend of mine who was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm up in Parma, Idaho. We're doing this shooting contest. He's like, cool. I was looking for somewhere to ride my motorcycle. I'll be up there tomorrow morning. Okay. You know, and then like he shows up and he's an absolute character, you know, and like these guys are meeting, the guys are, they're like, and the one guy who invited me, he's just like, dude, he's like, you have the most odd friend group. And I'm like, yeah, in a way, like my friends are kind of like, you never know. It might be a billionaire. Yeah. It might be a convicted felon just got out of prison. It might be a pastor. It might be a missionary, a Mormon missionary. You just don't know who's going to show up around here. Like
yeah.
And it's always funny. A professional MMA fighter I've had, you know, like you never know who's going to show up.
That's the funniest thing, because everybody has a story. Everybody has something that is
story for granted.
Yeah.
That is, talk more about that, because that's for real, dude. Like,
something we've noticed through the podcast is everybody kind of takes their stories for granted. Like they always talk about the stuff that we're doing and say it's so cool and
exciting,
you know, like and then we get them talking about their stuff and we're just fascinated because it's always so amazing. Like everyone has such an amazing story, but because they lived it, it doesn't. They lived it. You know, it's something that happened, and so they don't see how cool it is and what can be learned from that for other people. So it's cool to hear people's stories and hear them talk about it and just like, you know, help bring that to the light of like, it's incredible, you know?
Yeah. And I think so many people, I mean, there's definitely, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. They have that mentality of like, I'm the main character.
Yes.
And like,
yes,
I think a lot of us will just sit back and let them do that thing, you know?
That's valid.
But really it's like, that dude's an NPC.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
He's like literally a non-playable character because you're playing your own.
Like I'm playing me, and it's like that's where I'm living.
Yeah,
is
and
right
that's healthy.
here.
That was that was a great analogy you made, man. I want to actually touch on that because like I had referenced the book, The Fifth Agreement, which I reference all the time because it's now my favorite mental health. But that was my homework after my peyote ceremony.
Yeah.
So it was really like all tied in, and it was very, very powerful for me.
Yeah.
But like, and it talks about that how we're all the main character in our own story, and how you can't. You get pissed because somebody else does something. Well, that's what their script told them to do. Like they were just doing what their, main character is supposed to do.
Yep.
Like they are an NPC. And I had in that book is old enough that there's not an NPC reference when that book was written.
Yeah.
So that's something that you added. I'm like, wait, that's it. Yeah. Everybody else is an NPC.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing is like if you're playing a video game, like you have to use NPCs. You have to ask them questions. That's where you get like your quests from,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Because it's that collaboration. It's that I would have never known that had I not asked them about their experience in this. And it's like,
absolutely,
when you spend so much time in isolation and like you shell yourself off, like that's what you're stuck in. Like you're in an open world and you have nothing to do because you're not.
There's nothing to continue the storyline.
Yeah.
I love that because like we are in a world of observation. It's what it's really turned into because we are constantly on socials watching what other people are posting.
Yep.
We're constantly looking and seeing, like even down to the way that other people drive. When we're driving, we're watching how they're driving so that we aren't affected by it. We are constantly observing others. But it makes it so that we forget about the main quest. It's kind of like just walking up to an NPC, hearing what he has to say, and then being like, oh, cool. And then not going on with it. Not completing it. And our brains are made to complete things.
Oh, yeah.
It wants to close the story arc. And when we don't close a story arc, we get stuck in that limbo of having things happen to you instead of making things happen in your world.
Mm-hmm. And we see it as a failure. If we don't complete the hero's story arc, we see it as a failure.
Yeah.
But how many times have you read a book where the hero went from point A to point B and that was the end of the story?
Right.
Never. That doesn't make for a good story.
No.
You have to hit 55 other points along the way.
Yep.
Some may be highs, some may be lows.
It's supposed to be a good story. It actually has highs and lows.
Yeah.
Drags you back in.
Yeah.
Each of them teach you something that makes it so that you can accomplish the quest at the end.
Yeah.
And that's why our oldest form is stories. Like that's how we learned things originally. It was through the stories that we heard and stories that were told. There's a reason why everyone loves The Lion King. There's a reason why everyone relates to Pinocchio. There's a reason why these stories grab us. And it's because we are trying to play out our own story.
Mm-hmm.
And we can learn from the stories of others. But most importantly, we need to learn as we experience our own story. And that's why I like Carl Jung and the Fool. I always bring it up because you got to be a fool sometimes. And everyone's afraid to be the fool. But everyone loves the fool. Like there's a reason why they were kept.
Right. It's true.
And it's because to become the hero, you start off as the fool.
Right.
And then you become your best self through your experiences.
Yes.
And you can choose to be like, oh no, poor me. Or you can be like, okay, that sucked. What am I going to learn from it?
Yep.
And then you close the story arc.
And that's what we want to show people. That's the whole message of this podcast is to show people that, right?
Yeah.
Is to like, it doesn't have to end because something bad happened. Like, that's why we all try to talk about our downsides, you know? Like, a lot of this started with me getting brought down as a drug dealer. Like, that was awful. It sucked. Felons, like, lost money, all that kind of thing, you know? But now look at us. Yeah, here we are podcasting in my cool custom-built podcast studio.
Yep. I mean, I wouldn't be talking about mental health and hot sauce had I not failed at being an EMT, at being a bartender, at being like an auto mechanic, like all of my other jobs.
Realizing those were like, yeah, that's not me.
Yeah.
And you had to, and each one, you probably, because you're like, oh, guess what, everybody, I'm doing this now. And they're like, oh, God, another one, right?
Yeah.
How long is this going to last? Well, some of us, it's harder to find our things. You know, like I have this conversation with my cousin. You know, he literally, his dad kind of groomed him to follow in his footsteps. and my Uncle Dan was an amazing dude, right? He was the national secretary for the Air Force Association for a long time. He's one of the chief engineers behind the Minuteman missile program that we're still using to this day. And it was started in the 80s. Anyways, and he groomed his son. He sent him, made sure to get extra education and all the math and all the stuff. Like Paul always had tutors and was always doing school stuff and, went to college and he's a PhD now, but he is basically in the same, he took his dad's career path and just stayed with it, retired as a colonel, pretty high up in the Air Force. Like he made himself, dude. Like that guy is awesome. PhD, retired colonel. And then now he has a job literally as civil service. So, which is a private contractor doing the exact same thing he was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I talked to him about it. I'm like, that just seems so boring. And he's like, yeah, but your life seems so stressful. And it's just like the differences, right? Like some of us can't find it in one.
Well,
in fact, some of us are never going to, like, I'm an every 10 years almost. Mm-hmm. Like I just get bored and I don't want to do it. I get really good at something. And then I'm just like, okay, well, it's just the challenge isn't there anymore, which we just learned is part of my personality. I want the challenge. I want the struggle.
Yeah. Also linked with ADHD, we have what's called success depression. Like once you hit that goal or you hit that milestone that you set, real. It's because it's not kicking out the dopamine anymore.
Not even
and so that's what we do with the ADHD brain is we're constantly chasing dopamine.
Dude, when people used to tell me, when people first started being like, dude, you're the best inspector I've ever had, it was always like, hell yeah, thanks, man. And now I'm just kind of like, quit saying, like, I know.
Stop telling me that.
I'm like kind of tired of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like every once in a while, it's like, tell me I'm the worst.
Right.
Like challenge me
give
sometimes.
Me something. People, I got a good one for you. And it's like, yeah, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Now it's just more of like I look in the gross crawl space full of spider webs and spiders. I'm just like, man, I don't want to wreck all the webs. Like they went to all this work and now I got to go. Hard. Now I got to go evict them all and like I legitimately like that's a thought that I have at this point in my life.
You've killed a lot of architects.
I have killed a lot of architects, dude, and like trade spiders and like. I mean, it's literally anymore. It's not. It's more of just like it doesn't even faze me to crawl. And people are like, you're just gonna crawl in there and be like, yeah, like you don't put coveralls on or nothing.
Nope.
Nope.
But kind of going back, like there is the flip side. There's also those individuals that like are totally fine working a 9 to 5. Like that's good for them.
Well, dude, the personality thing. That's what we talk. So like this 16 personalities, you guys, the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities, which is a free test. Anybody can jump online. You type in 16 personalities test free and it comes up and it helps you figure out like that guy that was with me inspecting for 8 years, his personality type, like I gave him the most perfect conditions for him. Yeah. And that's why he thrived. He did fabulous. He quit me, took a big pay cut, and is absolutely miserable. And now I'm helping him start his own inspection business because I told him when he told me what he was going to go and do, and I'm like, dude, isn't even going to last a year, bro. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? And like, I don't even think he made it 6 months. And he's already like, I got to get back to this. I'm like, you're not built to do that. That's not you. That's a different personality.
Yeah.
Not you.
And gosh, I think I've taken every test that you could do for like personalities. I know I'm an ENFP, like that's the Myers-Briggs, but like there's Trimetrics DNA from a company called TTI, and it's awesome for like employers because then it's like it tells you what your leadership style is.
Is that the one that Bart Cayley talked about? Do you remember that? He talked about one of those. I wonder if I don't remember.
Yeah, it might be. But like what it does is like it also tells you as an employee of like these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses. Like and it'll tell you like you'd be really good at sales, you'd be really good at marketing, or like you'd be really good at data analytics. And it's like it'll tell you like if you're in this position right now,
that's not
you are not going to do well.
Yeah.
And like it's amazing how many of these things have been just spot on.
Well, and that's exactly what all this is. Again, like Joe and Daniel tried to teach me video editing. You want to watch a high-end, like the dude who can fly a hot air balloon over Disney World and land on the grass in the middle of the highway and laugh about the whole thing. Like that dude does not sit in front of a computer editing. Like not even a little bit.
No.
I self-destruct. I tried. I got that one video clipped up, and I mean, I drank a lot of booze and smoked a lot of pot to be able to get that video clipped up. That was like 6 couple minute videos, and it was like, and I figured it out and I did it and it's great. And Joe takes it from there and he can fix it and stuff. But like, that was hard for me. That was like mentally debilitating almost. Like it literally, I was depressed afterwards. It did not make me feel good.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are in jobs or positions where it's like there's a portion of it, there's a percentage of it that we really enjoy, and like we stay because of that percentage, you know? Like I work remote, but I'm a very people person. Like I need to be around people. And I mean, I call myself the most introverted extrovert, like extroverted introvert, because like I need people to like feed off their energy, but I also need time alone.
Yep.
Like I need to go and read a book for a couple hours, like recoup, re-energize, refill the battery.
Well, in some
you
of
know?
these tests, they kind of talk about, they give you those ratios, you know, and like I'm 35% introverted. So every once in a while I have to go sit down and read a book.
Yeah. But it's so good knowing that because there's so many people that get caught up in their day job and they just get depressed. They get burnt out. They get stuck in it and they get stuck in that rut and like they don't know how to break it. So they keep doing the same things, you know?
Yes, they do.
And like,
dude, this is, you guys, that podcast that I found, I'm dying to figure out how to get that woman on our podcast. Because it's talking about all the, I honestly really wanted, and so he gave us this great idea about having a couple of these people making the panel. I think we have him and Brett, because they're the two insurance guys that kind of really help. And then we have Melissa and Jonathan. Bro, that would be a panel.
Yeah, that would be.
And we might have to do something like a 2-hour episode or something, because there's no way you could get done in an hour. I mean, that's an hour, bro. We just talked for an hour.
I love it. Let's keep it going.
I know. Well, so we're trying to limit them to hour podcasts, but I really appreciate your offer of coming on the show. So are you serious about that? And you can?
Absolutely.
So I think from now on, anytime we have let's just bring him on as our extra when we have an extra spot.
Yeah.
So we can do that, because there's a couple of people. I think Will Lambert was the same way. This dude's like a professional arm wrestler, real estate broker. He's just doing a bunch of kind of just like us.
Yeah.
You know, just another guy like us that you just sit him down in a chair, put a camera on him, and he's interesting.
And I love it. Like my favorite thing to do is talking to people about their lives.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about,
they're
like
all fascinating, bro.
They're not just NPCs. There's a storyline. There is an arc.
Yeah.
There is something.
There is something. And that's what started this. Like we didn't know what this was going to grow. And when you start like everybody just tells you, just start. It's going to be terrible. You'll figure it out as you go. And like, I kind of think we know what we're doing now. I feel like we know the direction this is going to be. And like every time I have a guest on, I tell you, hey, this is the kind of people I'm looking for. And like everybody's like, oh yeah, I got 5 guys that'll fit that role.
Yeah.
You know, and now again, so here is a great time. I haven't said it yet. You guys, please subscribe and like this channel, because I've got to get enough subscribers to where we can monetize so I can quit working so much. And then I will have more amazing people and more amazing content for you, all based on being positive and living a kick-ass life.
That's the way to be. And that's what we want to do. We want to help share everyone's stories, because you're important.
You are important. And right now, the lesson from today is if you're having a bad day, go eat some Bear River Bottling hot sauce.
Yes.
And it will fix you. The capsaicin response will pull you out. Right? Look at that ghost pepper. Wait, no, there it is. Extra hot. That's the one you want. Okay. Well, you guys, Taylor, thank you so much for joining us. I'm already looking forward to having you back on the show.
Heck yeah.
We had one other guy that we were like, yeah, he's got to come back.
Yep.
So we'll probably just have you come back next month.
Love it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thanks again, you guys. Again, if you haven't already, now is the time to like and subscribe this podcast. Leave us a couple of comments. Jump on the website and grab some merch. We've got hats and shirts. And hopefully soon, Sarah will finish up my new logo and I'll have a brand new shirt for you guys. So thanks again for joining us.